Very good evening. Welcome to CRNFC Grounds. It's a big game this weekend because there are three big games this weekend. It's one of those today. Coming to you live from Longdon Place is the venue for today. It has been a shaky day. Had a lot of rain in the morning. It was sunny in the afternoon. It's looking like it's going to rain again in a few minutes. So I think we're getting used to a bit of Bristol conditions here in Colombo. But let's get back to schools rugby. Here's the big game that we're talking about. Wesley College taking on St. Joseph's College. Isipatana will play Peters, and then we have the Bradby second leg tomorrow. Those are the three big games of the week, of course. But today we'll focus on this, which will decide in terms of mid-table and the top table of the Singer Schools League 2019, coming to you live on thepapare.com, Dialogue TV channel 77, My TV, and also a YouTube channel where you can subscribe. And joining me on the commentary box for this evening also is Boa Atu. Good evening, Boa. A lovely day, but a shaky day.
Yes, it is. A very good evening to all of you viewers, wherever you are in the world. As you can see, today's conditions, 29 degrees, partly cloudy, a minimum of 27. And there's a wind speed, as I say, I can feel it cutting across right to left, 24 kilometers an hour. And northeast wind with the humidity. It is quite sticky, it is quite muggy. And as you can see on the right side of your screen, the thunder clouds, they're settling in. So this is a very, very important clash. I think one which could potentially decide which way the school Singer League is going to end up.
Yeah, exactly, because of course both these teams have played one game less because they didn't play last weekend. So they will be catching up that in this weekend probably. So particularly for St. Joseph's College, Boa, because they are in the striking distance for that league title. The two teams above them with one game ahead is Royal and St. Peter's, is just by 1 point. And for them, it's just to make sure that you don't focus on fancy things like the bonus points. Just keep on winning, you'll get there.
Well, in my opinion, there's a couple of key form lines we need to look at. Number one is the wear and tear. Obviously, Wesley, they are the form horse. They're on the bounce. They upset Isipatana last week. Now, keep in mind, I did name Wesley as one of my early male dark horses, and they're finally starting to live up to that tag. On the other hand, if you look at St. Joseph's, they've had a bit of a cushy or a cruise into this, and on paper, they look slightly fresher. So the question is, are Wesley right on song, or are St. Joseph's slightly undercooked? And number two is the wet weather or the wet track form. Now, Wesley, if you recall, they had a great outing in the first round in absolute atrocious conditions against Royal. St. Joseph's still a little bit untested. So if it does start raining and if Wesley can show some of that outstanding wet form, I think advantage Wesley.
Big call, advantage Wesley. So that's going to make the top three interesting if that happens today. But just put in through the paces, and if you're around Colombo, just come in, fill up these stands. It's going to be one cracker of a game, trust me on that. As you can see, the Joe's team warming up on the far side of the CRNFC ground, the swimming pool end we call it, and on the clubhouse end, other Wesleyites warming up under Paul Toya. A clash between the coaches also, Nilufer Ibrahim and Paul Toya.
Absolutely, I think Paul's certainly on a roll. He has a very inclusive philosophy of coaching. He really spreads the love amongst the boys, and he's a huge man on culture. Whereas on the other side of the spectrum, Nilufer Ibrahim, he's very meticulous with his preparation, repetitive work and looking for perfection. So, style of clashes, beg your pardon, a clash of styles, and styles always make matchups. And what I'm looking forward to is, regardless of what the weather is going to bring, both sides to run at each other so that, we can enjoy a fast and furious game. And keep in mind, this is the Friday night feature game of this round.
Yeah, exactly. Hope the weather gods won't come. It'll stay like this for us to see good running rugby because the underfoot conditions have settled nice and clean. So we'll be back with kickoff and with the team cards in a bit. Until then, stay tuned to ThePapare.com. See you on the other side. We go for a short commercial break on Singer Schools Rugby 2019.
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් පුබුදා
හොඳම මැලිබන්ටේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා මැලිබන්ටේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා
මැලිබන්ටේ පදමට ගහට.
I have news. Let's meet.
සුවිසලි ලක්කවෙනුවෙන් සෑමංගලක් දක්වාම දහඩිය හෙලීම සැබෑ පිරිමියෙකුගේ ගතියක්. ඔබේ උත්සාහය තියුණු වෙන තරමට ඔබේ ශරීරයේ උත්සාහයට අභියෝග කරයි. මුලින් දහඩිය, ඉන්පසු ග්‍රීස්, අන්තිමට ඉස්හොරි. ක්ලියර්මෙන් සමගින් නැගිටින්න කාලයයි මේ. සාමාන්‍ය ෂැම්පූවලට වඩා දෙගුණයක් ක්‍රියාකාරී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ඔබත් සමග ඉස්හොරි වලට එරෙහිව සටන් වදී. ඔබේ ජයග්‍රහණයට පෙරමං සදන අසම සමී ලක්ක වෙත යන සැබෑ පිරිමින් වෙනුවෙන්ම සුවිශේෂී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ලොබාංගේගේ මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම no limit.
දැන් Gold Dio body spray හඳුන්වා දෙන අලුත් මාදිලි හතරකින් Blaze, Challenge, Storm සහ Rave. අදම try කරන්න Gold Dio body spray පැය 24 පුරා.
When she's special, she's not just a girlfriend. She is your sweetheart. When you feel it, you don't just call it sunshine. You call it warmth. When you reveal your deepest emotions, it's not just art. It's freedom. And when its essence is premium cocoa butter, it's not just chocolate. It's Ravello. Chocolate so special, you call it Ravello.
Echo the voices of fun. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
පවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අත විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය
200යි 250යි 300යි.
ඔක්කොම එකට ගන්න නම් වාසියක් නැද්ද?
කොහෙද එහෙම තියෙන්නේ?
ඔය තියෙන්නේ
ICC Cricket World Cup 2019 සජීවීව නරඹන්න. ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් වෙතින් Star Sports Channel 6ම එකට. දැන් රුපියල් 149කට ලබා ගන්න. සිංගප්පූරු සවාරියක් දිනා ගැනීමටත් අවස්ථාවක් හිමි කර ගන්න. ඇක්ටිවේට් කිරීමට ඔන් හිස්තැනක්. ඔබේ ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ගිණුම් අංකය හිස්තැනක් 2019 ලෙස ටයිප් කර 077 679 679ට SMS කරන්න.
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි.
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් බුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම no limit.
Drift in search of happiness. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
Welcome back. It's the weather is still holding up here at CRNFC, and we hope it will stay like this till about 5:30. That's when the game is probably will finish, as we see the Wesley has just putting their paces through. The passing has been good. Looks like they want to move the ball wide, Boa.
That's right. I think a couple of key matchups I'm going to look at as we see both teams warm up. Of course, Wesley's most intelligent player and playmaker, Burjit Zubair, against, I think, St. Joseph's and their first five, Santosh Algam. It's going to be a very key matchup. I think how they use the ball, which players they use, how they put them into holes, what pattern they play. And of course, up front, the battle of the number 8s. The big Josephian burly Tarindu Dialvis up against Okbebo from Wesley. I think two little battles within the battle will have a significant outcome on the result.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the matchups as St. Joseph's have the final huddle, their customary huddle before they run in. So this was the last week games. Boa, just talk us through this. Wesley just made an upset there at Havelock Park across the road.
Absolutely, my dark horse. There you see Ruberu puts him into a hole. Wow, what an accurate pass. Right time. And I thought straight after that, Patana will run away with it. But Wesley hung in there. They played their patterns. And they knew exactly what to do, where to do it. And there is a very good example. Just simple offloads, getting players packing or flooding the short side. And it ended up 29 points to 18. And of course, St. Joseph's at Mount Lavinia against the Thomians was an interesting sort of game.
Yeah, first game for them, St. Joseph's College. Of course, St. Thomas's drew against Isipatana the week before, 12 all. And Josephians just made sure that they get the game flowing. As you can see, the Josephians are here in numbers to support them. Not much West. Yes, this was another crucial game. Royal College, it's always interesting to see how they go in between both legs at the Bradbys, but they showed no signs of that, just came out. But Science College put a lot of pressure in the early exchanges.
They did. I think the first 25 to 30 minutes, Science were really on the money. And I think Royal was slightly guilty of being in cruise control, and Science were a bit unlucky right at the start of the game. As you can see, Science scoring a few points. So that game ended 41 points to 20. And of course, another key game for Trinity. They came down to Colombo.
Yeah, not has been a happy travel to Colombo. It would have been taken more longer to get back to Kandy, because every time they've come back to Colombo this season, they have not gone with happy results, but they will have to travel to Colombo 3 weeks coming in the coming 3 weeks. I'm sure they would have already down today for the Bradby tomorrow, but they have to come back for St. Thomas's and Wesley.
Well, Trinity must feel like a frog in the blender. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. They have to confront their travel woes. And I must say, this season, especially 2019, Trinity have been quite woeful on the road. and unless they can have a complete reversal of form, tomorrow at the Rugby Shield, I think the writing's on the wall.
Exactly, this is how the last week results went. Royal 41 points to 20 against Sands. Clinical performance of 6 tries. Isipatana College taking on Wesley, and Wesley came on top 29 points to 18 with 5. And St. Thomas's and St. Joseph's 22 points to 10. That's how that finished there. And a thumping victory for St. Peter's College, 32 points to 7 up against Trinity.
Yeah, well, St. Peter's certainly doing themselves all the favours. They've got a beautiful run. They've been dealt a very good draw, all their games at home. And of course, Royal, who dropped that last game in the first round, pressure's right on them as far as the league goes. However, tomorrow's game is essentially, because it's a non-league fixture, it's kind of like a hall pass for them, So, even if all they have to do is just win, they win the Shield, they go 5 on the trot, and it just means that, they can further tune up for what essentially is going to be 2 weeks, which will decide their own destiny.
Yeah, it all comes down to that last 3 teams in the top 3 teams at the points table, isn't it? That's how that's going to be decided in the coming 3 weeks. Wesley this season have played 6, won 3, lost 3, a 50% record for them.
That's right. I think the results don't actually reflect how good, what the potential is. But as I said, late bloomers. One thing this clearly shows, Dinuk, is that the first round, albeit that circumstances dictated that there was extended break, was kind of like a pre-season for most of these teams. The number one beneficiary has been Royal, and then of course St. Peter's. So if there's any learning to be had, I think more schools need to focus on a pre-season going forward and making sure they get some run-on form before they run out and play their games.
This is how St. Joseph's unbeaten so far. 6 out of 6 for them, 100% win record, and Nilufer Ibrahim along with his boys will hope to stay there going into the next 3 weeks.
Well, perfect 6-0, and I think St. Joseph's, very clinical side. They play what I would call export quality rugby, and they've got one game in hand as well. So what they have to do is just turn up today, make sure that they get their game management spot on, because they're playing a very, very dangerous opponent who's kind of woken up and understand what rugby to play.
Yeah, this is how it stands. St. Peter's College leading 35, but Royal also at 35. St. Joseph's at 34, but you will see the difference because Joseph's and Wesley have played one game lesser than the other teams, which they will catch up later in the season.
So if you look at the top of the table, St. Peter's and Royal, basically they're on the same amount of tries, more or less. So the surface looks a lot greener than usual, so that's the plus with a bit of rain. It's almost like a soft 5 surface.
Yeah, it depends how green it will be. These are the top point scorers, 61 points. Top try scorers, 7. Kavindana Pereira of Wesley College and Manilka Ruberu of Isipatana.
Well, Kavindana had a quadrilla last week, 4 tries. Wow, what an outstanding effort, and against Isipatana, one of the better sides. So he's on a red-hot form, and I think he'll be a very key player today.
Yes, St. Joseph's College have just walked out. Here's the Wesley team that we'll see. Tarindu Hasit, Shritesh Tavaraja, Dinesh Dinuja, Ravin Fernando, Havit Tabit, Akinda Gamampila, Dexter Gunatilak and Samuel Ogbebo will compete in that 8. It's going to be a clinical. They would have need a clinical performance up against the Josephians 8. They're very strong there. And then Janosha Mendis and Tarindu Walpitage at 9 and 10 will be crucial. Murshid Zubair has slotted in a new position at 12. Eranda Harshan at 13. Kavindana Pereira, Tarusha Jayavira and Vishwa Velagedara will be the back 3 for them today. And the replacements Nisal Pereira, Shannon Gunasekara, Akib, Tahir Nimshan, Lawrence, Miraj Makshin, Rigesh Avinash, Shavin Jayawardana, Shihab Pakirali, Join Ogbebo and Shane Upwood will complete the 25 for Wesley College.
Watch for Murshid Zubair creating a lot of opportunity on the short balls for his man on the outside. And speaking of man on the outside, Shanaka Amarsinga joins the Combox. A very good afternoon to you, Shanaka.
Good afternoon, Boa. This is the St. Joseph's College team card. Santosh Tangaya and Gregory, a big front row there. They'll be the ones who are trying to make a difference to this Josephian side. Jawardhan and Eranda weren't great in the line out, but Sadun Pereira and Dialvis, very, very good defensive trio. Rashayan Gunawardhan was outstanding against St. Thomas's. Santosh Algama's kicking game will come into play. Karuna Nayaka, Disanayaka, Madhuranka, he'll be a key man as well. Sudaraka Devapriya and Aaron Pereira in the 15. Pereira, Dilshan Senaratna, Vihanga Pereira, experienced man coming off the bench. Shanil Abhisekara, Rifan, Anjana Ekanayaka, Fernando and Rahel Jayawardena also making up the replacements for a good side.
Yeah, I think that 9-10 combination between the halves, Rashayan and Santosh Algama, absolute key for this Josephian success. And of course, they've got some very good players outside of them. And it's the sheer speed, because as far as schools' halves combinations go, I mean, it's like, the Coyote and the Roadrunner, these two guys. And of course, Algama, excellent all-round kicking game. And if St. Joseph's utilize this win, utilize the ground conditions, pin Wesley in the right part of the field, very hard to beat.
Rohan Fernando will be the man in charge of this key game. Aruna Shanta and Hashan Mendis will be assisting him. And in wet conditions, how will the scrums go? How will the lineouts go? That's going to be something that the referee is going to have to keep a keen eye on as well. The ball's going to be bouncing around a little. Whether he's going to stop for those little knock-ons, if he's going to adjudicate that they've gone backwards, those are the things that referee Rohan Fernando will have to really keep in mind in these conditions. Hopefully the weather will hold for the next 70 minutes, gentlemen, and we'll be able to see a match without a torrential downpour.
Yeah, that'll do a lot of good if the weather holds up for the next 70 minutes. The Josephians have walked out and Wesley team is just having their walk down the park, just making sure that the Josephians wait for them before kickoff.
Well, all three officials, the referees and the assistant referees, wearing yellow jerseys. I hope that's not an omen of things to come.
Decent crowd turned out today. Wesley College home game by the looks of things, and that's a large part of the double blue contingent. And Murshid Zubair takes his time, deliberately so, Boa. So the mind game starting from before the whistle as well. It's very obvious that they took their time getting onto the field, made the visitors wait a little bit as well. And Zubair wearing number 12, not sure where he'll be playing though, whether he'll be popping up at centre, will be popping up at fullback. Those are interesting tactics, and it looks like Wesley seemed to have really prepared for this game.
Yes, very interesting, Shanak. As you said, the mind games. Wesley looked like, they were out for a Sunday stroll. They took all the time in the world, their own cool time. Now they join in midfield for their huddle or their prayer. And of course, this cool breeze holding St. Joseph's up. They seem to be very keen. Their Western Province, South African Western Province colours, the lovely blue and white, the Josephians. And of course, the double blues. And I think we're finally getting ready for kickoff.
It's going to be an interesting one, certainly, as the Methodists take on the Catholics. That's what this one is going to be, Wesley College versus St. Joseph's College. And this is Rashayan Gunawardena, who will be the man who will kick things off under the watchful eyes of referee Fernando. And this is St. Joseph's waiting for their unbeaten streak to extend. They will eventually get on same terms as Royal and St. Peter's with 6 games played. Whether that will be 6 games won or lost, we'll find out in the next 70 minutes as Samuel Ogbebo watches that ball go over the touchline, over his head. And Gunawardena with an immediate mistake. Just maybe those nerves waiting for those Wesleyites, just making that intensity run down just a little bit, and hoping, Wesley of course will be hoping that that will be a sign of things to come.
Yeah, big mistake on that occasion by Rashayan Gunawardena, just putting that into touch straight away, and a big scrum, and also which way the ball will move. Of course, Zubair standing on the right, you expect him to have first touch on the ball for Wesley College, but let's see how it goes.
So halfback Mendis about to feed the scrum.
Be by number 8 blue.
Perfect opportunity for Wesley for a strike move. Will they go left or will they go right? There it comes. Mendis feeds it. Good solid looking scrum. He fakes a right. Now they go left, and that's a terrible pass. On the bounce, into touch. So early nerves. So we've had a scrum and now a line out. Both teams just trying to feel each other out. It's kind of like a first round in a heavyweight boxing competition.
Interesting move here. Scrum half faking right, and then Tarindu Walpita. The pass was a little bit forward as well. And Walpita really going for that flat ball to give his runner something to really run fast onto. But not working there. Tangaya with the first throw into the line out for St. Joseph's. Taken nicely. That's an improvement from last week against St. Thomas's. Here's Tarindu Alvis, the skipper, getting his first touch of the ball. Running a good angle to go forward onto the gate line. Here's Madhuranga. Thinks better of taking on the Wesleyite defense, but that's a good pass. Well controlled as well by the winger that time. It was Sudaraka ThePapare on the far side. That's good defense. Swarming defense by Wesley. They knew exactly where the ball was going. And their line speed was exemplary.
Interesting defensive tactics by the Double Blues. They're doing what they call zero ruck, so they're not contesting the breakdown. They've always got one man on the outside, either way. So I think they've certainly done their homework against a very fast and furious St. Joseph's back division. And they get another scrum. So good defensive pressure early up from the Double Blues.
Be by number 8 blue.
Mendes to feed this time. With just about 10 meters of a blind side, so it will be first phase ball. And this is Zubair entering the fray at first receiver. Not sure I like this tactic of playing him at number 12. Just makes defenses a little bit easier for them to mark him. Stepping up into the breach that time was Gunathilaka. And Mendes goes left again. Walpita, nice flat ball. And that ball kicked through for Aaron Fernando. He will have to run this one out of trouble and runs it out of the 22. So they'll have to carry it back now, St. Joseph's, and they won't be able to clear it on the full. So that was good work from the defense. Siobhan Gregory that time gets back. Again trundles his way outside of the 22. And St. Joseph's working for their exit strategy here. Again the big man running onto the ball. Tangaya that was. And now they'll go into the pocket for Santosh Algama to kick under a little bit of pressure. But again, he knew he couldn't kick it out on the full. Walpita now. Off to Zubair on the second receiver. Trying to jinx his way past, but it was a good tackle in the end. And the ball turned over. That was a good turnover by Madhuranga that time. And St. Joseph's have stolen it. Here it is now through Thiraka Santosh. Gunawardana. Santosh Algama. His pass going left is a little suspect, as is that one from Tarindu Alvis. So St. Joseph's throwing away the chance of an overlap there.
Yeah, good work by both teams on that occasion. Just talking to you about the change, why Zubair is playing at 12. Shanaka just had a chat with Coach Paul Toy, and we also had the same question, why is he playing at 12? And the answer was he wants his best player to have most balls and to give that fast-paced wingers on the outside when the defense will suck up to Zubair.
Yeah, I think Wesley just need to be playing more depth, as you can see last time. When Zubair had some space, it was very dangerous. But again, the Josephian defense up to the mark.
Won well at the front by Gunathilaka that time for Wesley. And getting that maul going, a little bit of go forward, not a lot, just enough. But the referee says the ball was knocked on at the back there, so that's an error from Wesley, and St. Joseph's proving adept at the defense.
Yeah, a bit nervous, aren't we? Very cautious, both these teams. They're just kind of feeling each other out. I'd really like to see both teams really attack the gain line and actually test each other's 10, 12, 13 channels. Because obviously Wesley, they've made a key change. They've got their most intelligent player, Zubair, in at 12. So you need to give the guy more running space so that he gets into the game at pace.
So I'd really like to see some decoys run in order for Zubair to get a little bit more space. This time Madhuranga coming in to the center position.
Playing advantage.
Might have our first penalty coming up as we do. Rohan Fernando says that the Wesley player didn't roll away, and taking it quickly is Gunawardena. They've been asked to play this game at pace for sure.
Release! Release!
Good tackle that time. And Gunawardena will give it off to Gregory.
Knock forward, not meter.
It looks like that might have been an accidental offside there, and he was playing advantage for the not 10 meters. So Santosh Algama will have an opportunity to get into the Josephian half, the Wesley half, for the first time.
Yeah, and they had an opportunity before from the 22 or to set up with the number 12 or kick off Santosh Algama off that scrum they got. But why they wanted to run from the 22 is because of the Wesley defense. They were expecting a kick and they were 4 dropped behind, so they thought there was enough space to run, but good defense by Wesley College to keep the ball. They are contesting in that ruck and giving away a penalty.
Both teams a little bit coy. I think an area they're not actually attacking is one of their key strengths, which is that 5-meter zone between the 5-meter line and the touch line. Last week, if you recall, Wesley were very, very capable and very apt at attacking that fringe against Isipatana, and they did it at pace. Same applies for St. Joseph's, but for some reason, they're a little bit hesitant. They're just keeping their cards closer to their chest.
Looks like it might be a blood bin or seen a replacement coming on. Susara Kadevapriya might not be on the field for a few minutes at least. And Algama will have an opportunity from the first penalty of the game, or the second award of the first penalty of the game. But his kick comes off the side of his boot, and Gunathilaka again is the man to run this ball up into the opposition. So a second mistake from the kick. Valpita, Zubair. Here's some space now. Parandiran. Practice with Anage in the number 11 jersey. And the knock forward is unfortunate for Wesley, who'd made about 40 meters.
So straight away they decide to spread it wide. They attack that fringe I was talking about, and that's a 40-meter net gain. So it's about being patient. It's about making sure that they get their recycling right. And if you notice, from right to left, it takes about 7 passes going across. So on average, each pass is giving Wesley about a 5.5-meter net gain. So they just need to make sure that they back their systems and processes, stay patient, and break this Josephian defense down 5 meters at a time.
That's an interesting stat from our stats expert in the commentary box, of course. Passes to meters gained, that ratio is going to be an interesting one. Of course, as you said, about 40 meters for 7 passes. Just about 5 plus passes in the game. What were Rohan Fernando's words there, Dinuk? I'll tell you on the next stoppage. So scrum for St. Joseph's just outside their 22. Once again, Algama will not be able to kick it out on the full. He'll kick long and he'll kick hard. And waiting for it was Valpita. He's been dropped back in order to counter this long boot of Santosh Algama. And again, the pass is not a good one. So this is the problem with trying to play this expansive rugby in these conditions, Boa, because it's not rainy conditions right now, but it's been raining all day. And the ball is greasy, the ground is muddy, ever so slight. It's just got that little silky layer of dew on the top of it. So it's going to be difficult.
And it's clusters of position. So this morning I was studying the form and doing some homework. And I was looking at rucks or ruck clusters per try scored. So St. Joseph's I had about 5.5. Wesley I had about 7.5. What that means is that if either side hang on to the ball just over the amount of rucks, they score points. But at the moment, they're just trying too many things and turning the ball over.
Nice pop pass for Imesh Disanayake to run on to. That 8-9 combination is a deadly one. Algama's pass that time finds its mark. And dragged down in Zubair's tackle was the Josephian player. Now St. Joseph's with a little bit more intent. Much more direct carry that time from the forwards. This time you might be a little isolated. But now there's some room for Madhuranga. Madhuranga stepping. And eventually bundled out into touch. But a good run from Tarindu Madhuranga, the danger man for St. Joseph's.
Yeah, if you see the Josephian attack on that occasion, they just got it from left to right in quick phase, and then the two pods came in, which gave ample space for Madhuranga, but he's dangerous with the quick feet on the outside, Tarindu Madhuranga, but just managed to put him out. This is where it came. They saw the space on the outside, Tarindu Madhuranga. Look at that. There's no one in front of him except for the fullback coming in cover. Managing to put him out. He's dangerous, isn't it?
That was a ball right over the top, and it was Zubair who was forced to collect it over the 15-meter line. And the Josephians alive to that. They flew up, and Walpita now will be under pressure from Shehan Erand. Or Cheka Jayawardena rather, and he'll thump it out into touch, but only about 7 meters away from his goal line.
Well, the game there momentarily sparking itself into life. You know, we've largely been having a, very cautious sort of start. But it's probably a reflection of what both teams are giving each other. A lot of respect. So as we speak, line out for St. Joseph's.
Tangaya to throw in important line out there, and beautifully done that time. Clearly they've been working on their line out in the last week, have St. Joseph's. But the referee says that engagement was just a little bit late from Wesley College, which meant that there was a truck and trailer happening.
So if you're just joining us, no, it is not Music in the Parks. It is Wesley hosting St. Joseph's here at Longdon Place. Live and exclusive on ThePapare.com. I'm Boathu. Joining me in the comm box, my verbal sparring partners, Shanak Amarasinghe and Dinuk Bhaskaran. It's 0-0, 12 minutes into the game. And as we speak, Wesley, the halfback Mendes, about to feed the scrum, which he does.
Be by number 6, right.
Mendes waits, and it's Harshana who steps into first receiver that time and carries the ball strongly forward. And now Walpitage will have a little bit more time and space, but the kick is not a good one again. The breeze has really brought that ball in, and now Gunawardena has a little bit of a chance. Madhuranga for the corner. Madhuranga for the corner flag. No one's going to stop him. And Tarindu Madhuranga scores the first try, courtesy of a botched touch kick. And these are little errors which just allow these danger men of this Josephian backline into space.
Yeah, exactly what a try it was. But it was Tarindu Walpitage who didn't find the touch on the far side. And from there on, it was just a couple of passes and a breakthrough because there was enough space to run around. And Tarindu Madhuranga is not easy to stop, isn't it?
Well, there you go. Mistake. They didn't find touch. They basically gave St. Joseph's a gift. Well, guess what? Christmas came early. They went right across. There you go. Steps on the inside. Now he puts the afterburners. As you can see the lineup, great pass. Madhuranga there, herring away. Is he going to go all the way? Yes, he is. And a bit of a somersault out of Cirque du Soleil. What a try.
Really good try indeed. It was Aaron Pereira with that nice little right-footed step as the kick goes astray. That straightened up the attack, didn't it? Because the Wesleyite defense was drifting left, and he straightened it up nicely, and as soon as he did that, just allowed the space for Madhuranga on the outside. So 5 points to 0. Wesley having made all the play, allowing St. Joseph's into their 22 for just a few minutes. That's the step that created the space, and there was not enough outside backs for Tarindu Madhuranga to bait to the line.
Yeah, he gave enough time to the defenders to commit to him, and there were 3 defenders, whether to go to Tharindu or whether to stay in line with there, and eventually broken up.
Kick off from Wesley that time. Bouncers, nobody seemed to want it for St. Joseph's. But now they have it inside their 22. Again, Algama under a lot of pressure. It's charged down partially, and is this going to be a quick reply from Wesley?
Yeah, looks like that try has certainly woken them up. And I got to say, that was an absolute export quality step from Madhuranga. Wow, some skill that boy has. He knew exactly where to pin his ears and set sail. And basically, Wesley were caught short. And again, targeting that short side, as I alluded to, between the 5-meter and the touchline. And, rich dividends. Try time.
So this is where they'll have to make sure that Sudharaka ThePapare makes his way back onto the park. He's been in the bin for 10 minutes to get that head seen to. And we'll have Ruchira Ekanayaka sitting down. He'll play a part, of course, in this game, I'm sure. Dragging down is the call from referee Rohan Fernando. Interfering with the play in the air, if we can see that. Again, we'll show you exactly what happened. Wesley competing well, but not well enough.
Yeah, giving away penalties at crucial opportunities. This is one area that would have liked to attack and score. Algama again keeps the ball in play.
So both kickers not really understanding what that wind is doing from over the pavilion. It's a long wayward pass, and Harshana leaves it behind, and now the Hyenas pounce. This is some real pace. Kicking the hand, it's in touch. In his hands, rather. It's a beautiful try in the end from Teran Karunanayaka. Again, just expansiveness leading to a mistake which allows these poachers of St. Joseph's just to run it in nice and easy.
Yeah, back-to-back tries. Teran Karunanayaka scoring on that occasion for St. Joseph's College. Had the patience to chip away, and then finally collected and dived over with Santosh Algama to take the conversion.
So we're seeing a pattern here, aren't we? Turnover, ball handed back to St. Joseph's, and they're absolutely ruthless on that right-hand wing. And they just keep packing those chasers, making sure that they make Wesley pay. And here comes a conversion as he struck it clean. Off the posts! Off the posts.
Well, poor old Santosh Algama. He was lucky that Wesley threw that ball away because it was his missed touch kick that allowed them to counter-attack. And this is a little chip ahead from Karunanayaka. He stayed in the game. And Kavindana Pereira just couldn't catch up to him. Neither could the fullback Jayavira. And a clean pair of heels and good patience and composure shown there by Teran Karunanayaka to pick that ball up. So Wesley kick off for the second time in just under 5 minutes. Algama that time also again suffering with that wind coming over the old pavilion at Sia. Valpitage that time dragged down in a tackle just on the 40-meter mark. Taken forward by Fernando that time. And it looks like there's a good turnover here. A brilliant one, in fact. Shehan Iranda with his hands over the ball. Great body position as well. And that's superb poaching skills.
Holding on.
Shehan Iranda, brother of Dilshan Kalaniagoda, who plays for Dubai Exiles, played for Trinity in 2011. Good technique showed by the number 7. That's what exactly you need as a number 7. Saw the ball, saw the space, the daylight, and then went right on top.
I know.
So another clear pattern emerging is that St. Joseph's not as clinical when they look for the touch finder, kicking against the wind, and thereby gifting the ball back to Wesley. However, Wesley not good enough just yet to make them pay. Whereas if you see the flip side of the coin, whenever Wesley have given the ball away, St. Joseph's have been good enough to line up and flood that 5 meter to touch zone and get the point. So I think so far that's been the key difference. And of course, the handling errors just creeping up from Wesley, and it's been a bit of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of performance from last week against Isipatana.
Time on.
Just not having the same kind of brutality up front, Isipatana, and that's when Wesley thrive. They don't like to be rocked back, and they like that front football. As soon as they get it, they're a different side. But this time, when they have to make the play on their own, looking a little bit more average than they did last week. So Walpitage gets up after a little bit of a back issue, and they'll be happy to see that, of course. And St. Joseph's will have another line out on the 40-meter mark.
Rashan Gunawardana taking kicking duty. Santosh Agama failing to put couple into the touch.
It's interesting to see Walpitage again dropping into the pocket where the left wing would defend. Samuel Ogbebo profits from that knockdown. This time Wesley will drag it forward. Mendis. Nice little pop pass to Gunatilaka now. Gunatilaka stepping inside, showing and going. Still going. Manages to get the ball away. Brilliant little offload, but just unable to stay in field was Samarakon. And looks like the referee has called a penalty. Not sure what that one was for, but Mendis keeps going. Now he needs a little bit of help. Fernando, the second rower, goes in to rescue his halfback. Picks up and goes. And now Wesley inside the 22. With their tails up for a brief moment. What can the Josephian defense do here to nullify that? Wesley keeping it close. This is probably a little bit more sensible, as Boa was saying. Rack up the ruck numbers first, then earn the right to go wide. Walpitage. Flat ball. Zubair, and leaves it behind again. Murshid Zubair. That's a couple of errors from him in that number 12 position, but granted, in his defense, they were offside.
9 handling errors so far by Wesley. So they can't seem to get that continuity going. There's really no excuse for dropping this ball because, it's not as greasy as it should be out there. And the rain hasn't quite arrived. So Wesley need to be a little bit more clinical. And of course, from a tactical point of view, that was the first time they actually put some rucks together, 11 of them. And the meters just keep coming. So Wesley need to be patient. And they need to test this Josephian defense, and a few holes starting to open up.
Big call from Wesley going for the scrum. Watch for Samuel Ogbebo off the back here.
Number 8, be by.
Instead, it's a nice short ball to Harshana.
No.
And now it's a pick and go from the forwards who eventually joined their outside centre. They can see the try line from where they are at the moment. Can Wesley? Selby wanted to keep it a little bit closer, get their forwards a little bit into the game, rub shoulders with their Josephian defenders, just literally and metaphorically. And again, the knock forward letting them down. So handling errors creeping up for Wesley.
Yeah, lucky enough this time. Unlucky for Wesley not having a penalty advantage this time. Last time they got one. But how much hard work they put in to get there. Good work off the short side of Gunatilaka, and then Samarakon coming in support, trying to stay up on his feet. From there on, a couple of pick and drives, and then giving away a position just on the 5-meter line.
Steady.
Gunawardana now, and Tarindu Alvis goes off the back just to try and buy his halfbacks a little bit of space. He's gone sideways though and beautifully turned over from Agbebo, but not beautifully enough for referee Fernando, who says he didn't release.
I have to say, gentlemen, it's been a very lopsided penalty count. Every breakdown, I'm actually nervous whenever Wesley contests the breakdown that they're going to give away a penalty, and that's exactly what's been happening. So I think discipline just letting them down a bit. And they need to really brush up on that. As you can see, the Ritzbury Ravello replay there. Salgama places the ball. And I think the referee calling ruck, but I think the Wesley player is slightly unlucky there.
Well, maybe quite unlucky.
Number 10.
Tangaya. Ogbebo contesting in the front, but well done by Cheka Jayawardena to win that ball at number 2. Nicely taken that time by the right winger for Wesley Vitanage. Good ball protection. Good body position, good basics from Wesley. Just to get in there with while being outnumbered. And again, as you said, the penalty count very much favouring St. Joseph's.
Yeah, if that was a penalty on the far side for Bebo for not releasing, this was the same as well. If you see the replay again, and they're going to take a 50-meter shot. Santosh Algama not having a good day so far. Here's what it is. Just puts his hand down and a brief release.
Yeah, that was a clear no release. It was almost like he didn't want to give up his bar of Ravello chocolate. Just hang on to it, and the jackal was right up. And I think this is the right call. Algama, a very good boot. Bit of a sniper. Almost 50 meters on the angle. Now he places the ball. Looks up. About to run in. Can he make it count? Now he walks in and about to strike, and fair to say there was a unsuccessful kick, gentlemen.
Yes, I think that would be accurate as Murshid Zubair now comes in on the angle, spots the overlap, gives it to Fernando now. Fernando stepping back on the inside. Now Wesley have a little bit of ball that they can use. Zubair again, a nice wide pass to Harshana. Harshana to his winger coming through. Vitanage stepping back in field, and that was an interesting tackle. Sure whether there were too many hands in that one. And Tarindu Maduranga looks like he might have stolen this ball. It's available for anybody who wants it, and Wesley wants it. And again, there's no penalty, just a...
Captain.
That was a very interesting tackle technique. It was a
Others get back, please.
real somersault tackle.
Come.
And of course, if we have another look at the replay, Wesley being out-muscled at the breakdown.
2 minutes. I have to go into next step. Okay? Ruck form. ඕගොල්ලෝ ගෙහුවම කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ ඉමර්ජන්සි ලයින් එකක් ෆෝම් වෙනවා බෝල් එකෙන් උඩට ගියොත් මම කියන්නේ අර
So bit of a lecture on the rules there. Referee Fernando laying down the law. A bit of a lecture to the Wesley skipper Zubair. Algama now hoofs it into touch. That's a good looking kick, almost just past the halfway, almost up to the 10.
But if there's any player in the Singer Schools Rugby League 2019 who knows his rules as well as the referees do, it's Murshid Zubair. So having a little bit of a debate on what the rules were there. I'm not sure what exactly that penalty was for. It looked like there were hands in the ruck. That's what the referee was trying to motion. It did seem to say play on and then bring it back.
Time on.
But Zubair is as confused as we are up here in the commentary box. But the end result is that Tangai will throw again into the Josephian line-out. That time there's a knock forward. Samuel Ogbebo goes in after the loose ball and places it back onto the double blues side. Mendy's asking for some willing runners now. Gunatilaka. In fact, that was Sritesh. And here's Aaron Fernando. The number 21 jersey, Aaron Pereira rather. Harshana doesn't get the ball away. And Tarindu Maduranga now has an opportunity. Murshid Zubair helped in the tackle. Eventually gets him down. Gunawardena now. Show and go. Santosh Algama really crowded that time by the Wesley on-rushing defence. Gunawardena waits. Now they are going to be a little bit more patient, St. Joseph's. Wesley's line speed is pretty quick, but maybe not this time around. Stepping back into the field of play, Imes Disanaika. Another good run by St. Joseph's. It's close quarter stuff at the moment. Algama thumps it straight down the park. And Walpita will collect it inside his 22. And his kick is a decent one, takes it up to 50 meters, but not sure that was the right option. He had a lot of room behind where he kicked it to try and keep the ball in play a little bit more. But Walpita seems to be a little bit rattled by the occasion today.
Yeah, had a hit as well. Got himself nursed on the hip back area. It's always a worrying sign, isn't it, when you see that? And at such a young age, maybe that's causing his leg extension. Not confident enough. Walpita, that's maybe one reason he's dropping back in defense as well.
Ball over the top and knocked forward that time by the short line out of St. Joseph's. Mendes picks the ball up and his pass is a floaty one. Zubair puts it in behind Taridu Maduranga, who does well going back. And the kick is straight into the hands of Jayavira, who scores the first try for Wesley. Taridu Maduranga tried to be just a little bit too cute there, and Jayavira gratefully accepted it in his breadbasket and couldn't believe his luck as he ran it in.
Hesitation, gentlemen, hesitation. That was, well, unfortunate. Maduranga looked to run, then he changed his mind. He was hesitant. He looked to go for the chip kick. It's kind of like, if you're going to ask a girl out, you've got to do it. You never do it in two minds. Unfortunately, the young man just got caught short. The Wesley defense was up in his face. They were in one line, straight into the breadbasket, and that was a gift of a try.
A kick is good as it is chased down, and there were three people on that line, and that made Maduranga to think a bit, because he saw there was no one behind that chasing line. Look at this. Three Wesley players right up there, and then he saw this ample space behind the line, but he just unfortunately kicked it straight into Jayavira's hands, who twisted around and saw there was no one in front of him. He had the ball in hand, just ran straight to the try.
Interesting why Wesley have taken almost half an hour to put that kick in from first phase, to test the wingers, to test the Josephian fullback in these conditions. I'm really surprised it has taken them almost half an hour to do that as a tactic.
Well, they've certainly missed a trick, especially with this, stiff breeze, which is favouring them. So I think they probably learned a bit of a lesson, and we might see a bit of that kicking coming into the game. And as we speak, Murjid Zubair lines it up in his very unique kicking stance. Interesting mannerisms. Now he'll start his run up, which he does. And that's a good looking shot off the posts. Ladies and gentlemen, the two last kicks, both from Jose and Wesley respectively, striking the uprights. And as Coach Paul Toya barking out instructions, notebook in hand.
Well, that's cruel, isn't it? You can't get closer than hitting the inside of the far post and the ball bouncing outside. Just a matter of inches.
I mean, the odds of that happening is probably, 10,000 to 1.
Happened twice today.
Happening successively. That's a lot more as well. Russia and Gunawardena. Walpita will dot this one down.
Play on.
And he realizes he might have just caught the ball before it went over the try line. So he thinks twice about it, gets a call from his friends, and then thumps it out. Coach Paul Toya sees the amusing side of it.
Well, yeah, that's right. He just caught it probably half a meter in front. What he should have done was kept 1 foot inside and received the ball, and then obviously, they were in a bit of two minds. And Wesley now with a line out. About to throw it in.
First one from Sritesh. As Wesley haven't had a line out in a while on their own ball.
Playing advantage.
Bit of a head clash there, and they just left the ball behind. Unfortunate that time for the Wesley ball carrier Fernando. The referee's playing advantage.
First knock forward, second knock forward.
This time he says it was knocked forward, and there were 2 knock-ons, so the referee will come back for the first one.
They look like a very ugly head clash there. One of the Wesley players emerging out of that ruck. He was holding his head. If he can have a replay there, hopefully he's okay. I think it's the lock forward. Looks all right. He's binding down. Might want to keep an eye on this.
This is an important scrum for St. Joseph's. If they can get a score, just to get 2 scores in front before half-time, that'll really settle their nerves. Got a nice blind side for Tarindu Dialvis as well. The short side with Rasha and Gunawardena running off him. That could interest them. It is the combination, but they do go the open side this time, and this time coming into the field of play was Sudaraka Devapriya coming in off his wing. Algama, Aaron Fernando with that right foot step. It's done so well today. Gunawardena now. Still the big runners from St. Joseph's holding the ball up. Algama, the pass is not a great one, but it was well controlled in the end. Wesley's defense has gained some ground. Here we are with Algama putting the little chip kick in. Who is this going to bounce to? And it bounces straight into the hands of Disanaika. That was lucky. Beautiful kick from Santosh Algama right into the space of no man's land. And now St. Joseph's will try and seal this half with a score. Even a penalty will be enough for them. Here's Madhuranga, brought down that time at the first time of asking, but gets up and goes again. Hacked through by Wesley. And straight into touch goes Kavindana Pereira's kick. He should have kicked that with his left foot, but easy enough for us to say.
As we speak, there seems to be injury in back play. And I think that's Harshana. The second 5 for Wesley. He doesn't look very good. Interesting, Shanaka and St. Joseph's, and especially Santosh Algama, looking to use ball in hand and kicking from hand as an attacking option, and really putting pressure on this Wesley team. And as you see on screen, Harshana being attended to. Out comes a stretcher.
Looks like it's a half-time whistle. And Harshana will be attended to during the half-time break. But it's 10 points to 5 in the Singer Schools Rugby League match. St. Joseph's going for their 6th win in a row. And given the way this first half has gone, they'll be fairly confident that that's going to be the outcome at the end as well. You watched this here, Tarindu Madhuranga, and it's a knee to the head. Completely unintentional from Madhuranga's point of view, of course, but still a knee to the head of a man running pretty fast with a high knee action. So that's a little unfortunate for Harshana if he is not able to take further part in the game. A big part of this Wesley ball carrying unit, especially in the backs. And that's going to be a big blow for Coach Paul Toya.
That's right, Shanaga. It's halftime here at Longdon Place. It's music in the parks. No, I'm just kidding. Wesley versus St. Joseph's. That's a wonderful Papare band playing in the background at about 200 decibels. There you see. Bang. Unintentional, of course, as you said. That was his right knee as he was motioning to run, striking the young man on his head. So that might be the end of his game. Very unfortunate.
So it's 10 points to 5 here at Longdon Place as Wesley try to do an upset and St. Joseph's try to hold on to their unbeaten tag. 6 games played so far. and they've got 5 wins. Let's see what they can come away with at the end of the next 35 minutes. We'll be back after the break.
Here are the first half highlights. It was St. Joseph's College who started off. Aaron Pereira just straightened the line to give Tarindu Maduranga the opportunity to run around for that first try. And then again, St. Joseph's came back once again. This was a bit of patience. They put the boot. And Teran Karunanayaka scoring that second try for St. Joseph's. And then from there on, it was Wesley. Look at this. Maduranga saw the space behind, but straight into the basket. And that was the only try in that first half for Wesley College to finish 10-5 in the Singer Schools League 2019.
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මෙලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් බුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට.
I have news. Let's meet.
To be a man is to sweat for every last inch of it. The harder you push yourself, the louder your body will protest. From sweat to grease, grease to dandruff. Fight back with Clear Men, 2 times the fighting power of ordinary shampoos. Beat grease, beat dandruff. Unbeatable performance for the unbeatable man. Power through the odds. Clear, zero dandruff, nothing to hide.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම no limit.
දැන් ගෝල්ඩියෝ බොඩි ස්ප්‍රේ හඳුන්වා දෙන අලුත් මාදිලි 4කින් Blaze, Challenge, Storm සහ Rave අදම try කරන්න Gold Dio Body Spray. පැය 24 පුරා.
When she's special, she's not just a girlfriend, she is your sweetheart. When you feel it, you don't just call it sunshine, you call it warmth. When you reveal your deepest emotions, it's not just art, it's freedom. And when its essence is premium cocoa butter, it's not just chocolate, it's Ravello. Chocolate so special, you call it Ravello.
Find yourself in love. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
සතුට බෙදන නම ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම සනසුම දෙන නම එය සිංහ නම මිහිර මවන නම අවස නිවන නම මුල් පවුලට සතුට සදන සිඟ අත විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් බුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්ටේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්ටේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්ටේ පදමට කහට.
I have news. Let's meet.
සුවිසලි ලක්කවෙනුවෙන් සෑමංගලක් දක්වාම දහඩිය හෙලීම සැබෑ පිරිමියෙකුගේ ගතියක්. ඔබේ උත්සාහය තියුණු වෙන තරමට ඔබේ ශරීරයේ උත්සාහයට අභියෝග කරයි. මුලින් දහඩිය, ඉන්පසු ග්‍රීස්, අන්තිමට ඉස්හොරි. ක්ලියර්මෙන් සමගින් නැගිටින්න කාලයයි මේ. සාමාන්‍ය ෂැම්පූ වලට වඩා දෙගුණයක් ක්‍රියාකාරී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ඔබත් සමග ඉස්හොරි වලට එරෙහිව සටන් වදී. ඔබේ ජයග්‍රහණයට පෙරමං සදන අසම සමී ලක්ක වෙත යන සැබෑ පිරිමින් වෙනුවෙන්ම සුවිශේෂී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ලොබාංගේගේ මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ. දැන් Gold Dio Body Spray හඳුන්වා දෙන අලුත් මාදිලි හතරකින් Blaze, Challenge, Storm සහ Rave. අදම try කරන්න Gold Dio Body Spray පැය 24 පුරා.
Stumble upon a surprise. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
Very good afternoon and welcome back to the live coverage on ThePapare.com of this Singer Schools Rugby League game between Wesley and St. Joseph's. Wesley hosting St. Joseph's here today, and they've been charitable enough to give the ball away a few times in that first half to allow St. Joseph's to run in 2 counter-attacking tries. They got a counter-attacking try of their own as well through their fullback Jayavira, and St. Joseph's have scored through Tarindu Maduranga, who scored that first try, and that was some good stuff from the dangerous Josephian outside back. With me in the commentary box, Boa Athu and Dinuk Bhaskaran calling on what would be an interesting 35 minutes if Wesley changed their tactics, Boa.
Well, it's been a stop-start affair, hasn't it? Kind of like J-Lo and Mark Anthony. Hopefully there's going to be a happier ending for one of these teams with a win, as opposed to what seems like a bit of a stalemate, because it's only 5 points apart. Both teams, showing enough endeavour, but handling errors and penalties, and especially a bit of a lopsided penalty count against Wesley, hurting them at crucial times. And of course, Wesley scoring off the mistakes of St. Joseph's, and St. Joseph's doing the same to hurt Wesley. So hopefully the game opens up. We see a little bit more endeavour, a bit more running rugby, and this slightly disappointing crowd on a Friday night feature get their money's worth.
Yes, I have to say it is a little bit disappointing to see that the stands are not filled. Of course, it is a rainy day as well, but this is a game that we would have been looking forward to from the start of the season. Wesley, a good running side, maybe to their own detriment sometimes, that they try to run a bit too much, try to be a bit too flash. And St. Joseph's, the unbeaten team as well, who didn't come undone but showed some vulnerability against St. Thomas's. And this would have been the game where a lot of neutrals would have wanted to come and see how St. Joseph's hold up in this unbeaten quest. So not really sure what's going on here. There's a bit of an administrative discussion, a powwow. Not sure what's they're not mic'd, so we don't know what's going to happen. But the players will hang around and wait, and it seems to have been sorted out now.
Mercifully, the boardroom meeting is finished, and I think fair to say the CEO is now coming to the middle with the whistle, and the game will resume. And as I say this, there's a hint of a rain cloud from the right-hand side cutting across this ground. There's a slight breeze, and Wesley about to kick off.
Let's say it's more than a hint of the rain cloud, Boa. It looks like a massive clue. And as we speak, the drizzle may be starting down over this ground as Walpitage gives that ball straight into the hands of Samuel Ogbebo. Tarindu Dialvis lifts and smashes his opposite number, and he's lucky to get away with that one. Looks at the referee with querying eyes, and the referee says absolutely nothing. And here it is to Wesley. They still do have the advantage for that tackle though. Walpitage with the inside switch. Mendes. Ogbebor. Good ball presentation from him, and that ball is over the top. But the referee will speak to his assistant. And was that a deliberate knock on Dinuk?
Just have to see, because the players overran on that occasion, I think, from Wesley. This is an interesting conversation from the assistant referee.
Land kari sold hai wagi mukad wagi di number white number 8.
Well, are we going to see a bumblebee yellow here? There was pretty heavy contact. He was upended and he was dumped. So if at all there's anything around that, initially I thought it was fine. I thought it was play on. But as I said, I'm not a big fan of handing out cards like used car salesmen would at a car yard. There needs to be some clear definition of what's happened. So what it looked like, as you can see on the replay, Ogbebo gets the ball. Now he goes into contact. There's Alvis. Lifts.
And it's straight past the horizontal, Boa. I don't think there's any arguments there that it's at least yellow.
Okay, number 8, are you okay?
Well, thank God I'm not the referee, because in my eyes it's just play on.
Okay. So
referee Rohan Fernando seems to be mulling this one over as well. Ogbebo seems to have taken a bit of a jackknife to the back.
Captain, number 8.
And referee calling Tarindu Dialvis. Yes, he did take him past the horizontal, so I think the right call has been made. Tarindu Dialvis knew as soon as he did it that he was going to be in a little bit of trouble. And his opposite number, hopefully will be able to recover from that back injury that he seems to have picked up in order to play a functional part in this game.
I think
this is important. This is an important period for Wesley.
I think Shanaka, if at all anything, Tarindu didn't bring his player down safely. He's kind of had a little knee-jerk sort of reaction and dropped him. And I think that's probably what the referee was looking at. And, see it either way you want to. Yellow card. So
the diktat is that if you lift a player past the horizontal, you're responsible for his safety. You need to bring him down safely. And I think Tarindu de Alves could have maybe done a little better in those circumstances. Wesley, and that time it's just a little bit too much movement, a little bit of an overcomplication of that line out. And in the end, they give the ball away. Santosh Algama is charged down. Nobody seems to want it now. Eventually, the big man Samarakone picks it up for Wesley and he's inches short of the line. Now the Josephian defense reorganizes. There's a lot of space if they want to move this ball. But they're keeping it close quarters so far. Wesley. Fernando rolling. It looks like that might have been a penalty. Wesley lucky to get away with that one. Walpeter stepping. Good tackle by Tiraka Santosh on the Wesley fly half. Really good defense. Zubair with the long ball out. And into the corner goes Kavindana Pereira, the 4-try hero from last week. Scores his 5th in the calendar week. It has to be said, he scored on Saturday, so within the week he scored his 5th try.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have someone like Zubair there. He just saw the defense up front. There were two coming into him and then threw that pass, cutting out both of them. And then it was just an easy stroll on that corner flag to pin years back the win 3/4 for Wesley College, Vishwa Velagadara. But all the hard work was done here. A bit lucky on that occasion. Just not to give away a penalty. Rolling on just ego on the white line. But nevertheless, they have their rub of the green and they score on the far side.
Well, there you go. Numbers don't lie, gentlemen. Statspurs said 7.5 plus rucks. They had 9 rucks there. Zubair saw the space, drew his men in, went for the big cutout pass, and that was a pinpoint precise pass. The man on the run, taking it right in front of his eyes. Try time.
That's the intelligence of the player, realizing where the space is and the ability also to get the ball into that space. Good accuracy from Murshid Zubair. But I think Wesley may have been a little lucky with one of their players doing a double roll, a double barrel roll on the line. Got away with that one, and with Tarindu de Alves, one of their better defenders in the naughty chair. Just short on that occasion, so it's not been a good evening for kickers today.
So we're even Stevens, ladies and gentlemen. 10 points each. A dead heat. Are we in for a photo finish? I did say it is possible. There you go, Zubair. Big cutout pass. See where the man takes the ball on the run. And he dives over. Try time. A bit of a swinging arm there from the Josephian defender. Lucky not to get some attention from the referee. Careless more than anything else.
Gunawardena kicks off now with the scores level. And this is where teams are so vulnerable. Here's the try scorer, Vishwa Velagadara. It was on the left wing. Kavindana Pereira is on the right wing. My apologies. That time, taking it forward again. Wesley through Fernando. Here's Mendes. Nice little show and go. That time from the man who replaced Harshana. Mendes stepping through again, but that time he's met in a wall of Josephian defense. It's a big prop already on the park. Is Pereira in the scrum cap. Cheka Jayawardena makes a good tackle. Samuel Ogbeboy this time. Again dragged down. St. Joseph's are now putting their shoulder to the wheel and they get the penalty. Getting their just reward for good defense that time. If we can see that again, we'll see how good that Josephian jackling is.
So I think that's been the fourth penalty at the breakdown where Wesley have been pinged for not releasing. There you go. Takes the ball into contact, sets up the ruck. There's two Josephian defenders straight over the top. And there's Okbebo on the fringe. Now he takes it, bang, straight over the top. All rights to the man on his feet. Rightfully pinged.
Yeah, very good work by the tackler also there. As soon as he brought him to the ground, he just rolled away, not holding, not even a second further. Would have also resulted in slowing the ball carrier to place the ball. And good timing there by the arriving player as well, as he went right on top of that ball. Not a good day for kicking, but Santosh Algama goes for 3 points just outside the 22.
Probably the easiest kick all the kickers have had so far today. Algama walks out of the melee of Josephian bodies lying around him. And as the Papare band chimes up with the Saints go marching in, St. Joseph's take the lead very quickly after conceding a try.
As on cue, isn't it, Shanaka? It's incredible, this band. The synchronization, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Wesley now. They kick off.
Gunawardena this time with the high up and under. It doesn't go very far and it's going to fall into space. Might bounce kindly for St. Joseph's, but instead it bounces straight into the hands of the Wesley second line of defense. Play on, says the referee, and it seems like it might have been stolen by St. Joseph's. It has been. Here's Algama with a lovely kick into space. Spotted that one beautifully, but Walpitage is across. Juggles the ball and will be forced to kick it out. And that's some real hustle from the Josephian defense.
So there you go again. The Josephians clearly winning the breakdown. They seem to be getting this chop tackle technique. So what that means is the first tackler makes a tackle and he quickly rolls away, and right on his either right hand side or left hand side there is a jackal. They go straight into the point of contact and play the ball. So obviously they've rehearsed this very well at training, and it's paying rich dividends because they got two penalties all within 60 seconds of each other.
Pangaya now looks to the back and it's Cheka Jayawardena who takes it. Play on, says the referee. Looked to be on the outside shoulder of Jayawardena, but he was not contested, so that's okay. And the ball falls to the floor and the referee has no option but to blow up a knock on there. And we may have no option but to just shut up and watch the game if the Papare band doesn't die down. Ironic, being that we have the Papare.com as well.
That's right, Shanaka. How ironic is irony? You know, it's I have to say they are extremely synchronized, and I only hope that both teams playing out in the middle can actually afford some synchronization as the Papare band does.
Would be nice not to have to share the commentary position with the Papare band in the upcoming league games, of course. Sure, there's other areas of the ground where they won't disturb the commentary.
Yes, like the car park, for example.
Murshid Zubair taking it into the contact. Straight in from the side, says referee Fernando. And Wesley will win a rare penalty at the breakdown.
Step back.
Mendis. Quick ball on to Gunathilaka. Short ball. But there's no advantage coming, so the referee will bring them back.
Number 6 right.
So St. Joseph's have been very disciplined at the breakdown. They looked that time just losing their feet a bit. It was Nehan Pereira went in from the side.
Yeah, exactly. And we spoke of how good they've been in their timing getting into the ruck, but on that occasion, not on the through the gate. Went off the right side of that ruck. That's where the mistake came up.
Your mark on the line. Your mark.
So line out now for Wesley. They botched a line out on the 5-meter line when they had the line at their mercy, really. And without Tarinduri Alves, it's very important that they make these minutes count. the Wesleyites, but they go to the front that time, just showing a little bit of... Not 5 meters, says the referee, and that's a terrible mistake from Wesley again. They've really coughed up the ball in a few very important set pieces with very, very silly mistakes.
So the time Tarindu de Alves was outside of the park for the naughty chair on the 10 minutes on the naughty chair. It is a 5-3 for Wesley in terms of scores, so not much they have capitalized.
Was that one of the most technical calls you've ever seen?
Well, the ball needs to travel 5 meters, boys, what I can point to. Although it did look like the man's feet were behind the 5 meter line, the ball itself needs to travel the 5 meters. So that's where Rohan Fernando was coming from.
That's right, well, it's just not chocolate. Chocolate's so special. Ravello, make sure you try some.
Gunawardana now. Santosh Algama opts to go and he puts a good pass away. But that time Zubair tries to knock it back, but it rebounds luckily into the hands of Disanaika, and Gunawardana now with the big pass to Madhuranga. To the guy who scored the try, that was Teran Karunanaika on the left wing. Tarindu de Alves is back on the pitch now. Big tackle that time by Sritesh. Tiraka Santosh running a nice angle, making some yards. Getting in behind the defense, which is the important bit. Pick up and go by the big replacement Pereira. That's better tackling from Samarakon that time. Gunawardana waits again. Tiraka Santosh. Good carry from the prop, assisted by his front row mate. And now some space opening up. Algama thinks about a show and go, but leaves the ball behind. So an uncharacteristic mistake with the ball in hand from Santosh Algama.
It's a bit of a pattern emerging. Every time both teams look to go 7+ ruck phases, they seem to come up with a handling error. It's either a knock-on or a forward pass. And every time that happens, the Papare van starts playing. It's incredible.
Here's Algama, thinks about going, but Gunitilaka had a good angle on him, gives him a good shoulder, and just manages to dislodge the ball from the Josephian fly half's hand. Here's an important scrum again. Ogbebo will be eyeing this blind side. But the days of number 8s breaking on the blind side are over for us, it would appear. Shamli Nawa's eyes would have lit up, Boa, if he saw that.
Yes, I recall many a number 8 break by Shamli, especially playing against him. Many, many years ago, which feels like an age now. I have to say, Shanaka, St. Joseph's really bullying and really controlling the breakdown, and they seem to be managing this game very, very well. And I think credit goes to the two halves combinations, Gunawardana and Algama. They seem to really know how to move the ball side to side. And as we speak,
visit our YouTube channel for replays, highlights and more on /ThePapare official. And again, another botched line out. St. Joseph's were doing so well early on in that first half, but seem to have gone back to the error of their ways last week, as Ogbebo takes it forward again. Here it is to Zubair, and that's a lovely tackle from Tarindu Madhuranga. Outstanding technique, slapping the ball out of the hands of the Wesley captain.
Was that the moment of the match, Shanaka? That was a beautiful tackle. Ball and all, as the contact happened, slight dislodgement, and the ball goes forward. Wesley had numbers on the outside. The danger man, Zubair, nullified. Great work, St. Joseph's.
And what's the rule on that now, Boa? Because the ball was slapped out of the hand by the tackling player. So is that a knock-on by that player, or is it a knock-on by the ball carrier?
That's a very interesting
නිකන් එන
So referee Fernando explaining exactly what's happened. That's an interesting question, Chanaka. As you can see the replay, there's Zubair, ball in hand, about to make the pass. And it was a bit of a slap down onto the forearm. So I guess the question is, when is a slap, and when is it a strike, where you strike the opponent? Clearly the referee didn't see the contact on the forearm. Looks like Joe's got away with one there.
Tough call. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there. As Gunawardena feeds the dangerous scrum for St. Joseph's here. And running nice unders line, and Karuna Naik now will look to take his man on the outside, but forced to pirouette back inside. And Gunawardena is there, as he always is, to feed a willing runner. Hands in the ruck, says the referee, and another rare breakdown penalty won by Wesley. Again, the discipline from St. Joseph's, letting them down in the last 10 minutes or so, where it wasn't earlier on.
Yeah, on that occasion, I just thought that the flanker was right on top of that ball. Also had a chance to win the penalty for Wesley College, but luckily they won a penalty, but by the Josephian playing the ball on the ground. So 51 minutes on our clock, 13 points to 10. It's just 3 points separating both teams.
And that's a surprising factor, isn't it, gentlemen? Because St. Joseph's have been dominating the breakdown, have been dominating the set pieces, but still find themselves only 3 points in front.
It's just the frequency of error rate. They seem to be able to cough that ball whenever they're in a good hot strike zone, and it's reflective on the scoreboard.
Again, a lot of movement in that line out. And that looked like it was truck and trailer, certainly was.
Accidentally offside.
Ball fell into the hands of the player behind the receiver, and he ran straight into them.
Very unfortunate. He thought he got away with one there, like a thief in the night, but referee Fernando right in front pings him, as he explains.
Consistent from the referee, one thing you can ask for. He blew this against St. Joseph's in the first half, and comes up in the second half also.
That's just some inexperience from the receiver there. He should have known better than to run straight back into his forwards. He should have run onto one of the outside channels, either in towards the 15-meter line or out towards the 5-meter channel. Papare, of course, the most popular schools rugby pair 2019 competition is on. You can vote at schoolsrugby/vote on thepapare.com. It's a massive hit by Sudaraka Devapriya, who came in off his wing. Algama, who looks a little suspect, passing to the left. Passing to the right, I should say.
Seems to be an area where both teams have really struggled, that pass, where that last pass or the 7th pass on the fringe, where the attacker's running onto the ball. I think that's probably the 6th time I've actually seen an overcooked pass going into touch, and thereby just killing the play. So it's, as I said, a bit of a stop-start affair here. So if you're just joining us, you're live and exclusive here on thepapare.com as Wesley do battle with St. Joseph's at Longdon Place. My name is Boathu, and you are joining me in the combox with my verbal sparring partners, Shana Kamarasinghe and Dinuk Bhaskaran.
A little bit of pleasantries being exchanged between the front rows. Referee Fernando looks like he's grateful for the stoppage as well.
Yeah, it's been a very leisurely pace, hasn't it? Very user-friendly, especially for the referee.
Nehan Pereira on the near side in the number 6 jersey for St. Joseph's. Real nuisance at the breakdown, and It's his hard work, as is those of his third row partners, that's really kept Wesley on the back foot for most of this game. Walpitage, lovely pass. Outstanding bit of work. That's got to give the ball away, and Kavindra Pereira will go for the line, but he's dragged into touch. And Tarindu Maduranga may find himself in a little bit of trouble here. Kavindra Pereira pinned his ears back, easily one of the fastest players on the park, the athlete turned rugby player, and almost made it, but was dragged down. If you can see that again, by 3 Josephians. It'll have to be a lottery as to which one of them has given away the penalty.
Yeah, that was a high shot, and then good refereeing as well, stopping the game as the Wesley's wanted to go quickly. This was Pereira. Look at that. Looks like the 13, the key player, Tarindu Maduranga, was right on top of that player there on that occasion.
Well, we saw the first try scored by Tarindu Maduranga himself, and that was a beautiful step by Aaron Fernando that straightened up the defense. Now that's exactly what this Wesley attacker didn't do this time. He kept running Kavindra Pereira out of space. Should perhaps have straightened up a little bit more before he gave the pass.
Yeah, that's right. As a pattern, they need to understand that, there is an extra defender, which is the touchline, and as we say, it is a bumblebee yellow card.
2 key stages of the game, gentlemen, is that 2 key players of St. Joseph's have been taken out. Tarindu Maduranga sat out for 10 minutes. Tarindu Dialvis rather, and then Tarindu Maduranga also on that occasion going out on the yellow. So the first occasion, Wesley won it 5-3. If they can pull this off, they can spring a surprise, as well as St. Joseph's College making replacements, knowing that they need fresh legs on the park.
This is Vihanga Pereira, who has just come in, who had a good season last year as well. And he's an experienced campaigner to bring on that flank. Fresh legs and, of course, a lot of pace. And he's on for Nehan Pereira, who's a dangerous breakdown player, but maybe a little slower.
How crucial is that yellow going to be? That Maduranga, it looked like a flying neck crank. It was actually a lot worse than it actually seemed. But, referee Fernando had no option but to go for the yellow. So, a 14-man Joes now about to defend this Wesley scrum.
Mendes, they will be looking to go wide from this ball. Murshid Zubair takes it, going in for the crash ball, and I'm not sure that was the best option. Probably would have wanted Zubair available for the second phase ball to distribute it. And they're looking left and right this time. Can somebody communicate with Mendes? Give him the best advice here. Looks like they can. And this time it's a wide ball into the corner, but they're dragged into touch. So close, but no cigar again for Wesley.
It was a very, very tasty short side. They had the numbers. They stacked it. But again, the precision of the passing just hurting Wesley there. They seem to be in a bit of a rush. And really, the inside ball runners should have straightened up, dragged those defenders inside. There's the replay. It's a good pass. Bit of a stop-start. And see where they take the ball. Almost shoulder height on a static movement. So it takes a split second longer to actually push the ball in front of your chest and swing it. And that is the window of time the Josephian defenders require just to get that pressure up and bundle the man into touch.
So St. Joseph's live to breathe for another minute or so. And this line out will be a crucial one. And won that time by Wesley. Again, untidiness in the line out creeping into St. Joseph's game. They were fine when there was no pressure on in the first half. But now that the pressure has come home to roost, the line-out has disintegrated again. Ogbebo takes it forward this time, the hard-working number 8. The ball scoops out and Fernando tries to get his way to the line. Has to be careful not to roll. Play on, says the referee, as Thangaiya was asking for a penalty. And looks like they've stolen it. And Santosh Algama has no option but to hook it away into touch. And real good pressure. Tarindu Alvis taking a little bit of exception. But Ogbebo always the peacemaker.
He was committed in charging that, so trying to make a penalty here. But highly unlikely. Here's what you can do if you want to catch all our actions live, our segments. Just subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, and click the bell button, and you will receive notifications of every video posted by ThePapare.com on sports covered around the country. And also a lot of videos coming to you from the ICC Cricket World Cup 2 from Damit Veerasinghe. Sri Lanka play Australia tomorrow.
So it looks like Santosh Algama has managed to milk that cow. Let's watch it again. Yep, absolutely right. Number 6 should really have pulled out of that one.
That looked like a bit of a forearm to the face. Not sure how much intent there was. Late, unnecessary and clumsy. So I think the right call was made, and Algama, now he clears the lines. Are we in for a riveting finish, gentlemen? 3 points separates Wesley and St. Joseph's.
Taridu Maduranga, the danger man, off the field for the next few minutes at least. So that's going to be an interesting prospect for St. Joseph's. How do they attack without him? Do they have enough firepower out wide with the replacements? Do they get Aaron Fernando into the line? First, of course, they have to get that line out right. This is a man, Cheka Jayawardena, who is entrusted with the jumping duties. And again, it's missed, and Ogbe borders brilliantly at the front of the line out. With just a one lifter straight through goes Kavindana Pereira, dragged down just inches away from the 5-meter line, and a superb turnover that time from St. Joseph's. And if they win this game, their jackling will be the thing that's won it for them. Outstanding defensive work.
It's been a dirty dozen. 12 turnovers right at the breakdown. So St. Joseph's head and shoulders above in the breakdown.
And now they'll have to really work hard to get this one out. Enormous pressure on Santosh Algama again. And he has to put this one, beleaguered kick, which drags itself over the touchline.
So very interesting defensive work from both sides. Now, Wesley clearly favoring what we call a zero ruck or no contest at the breakdown. And when St. Joseph's have their backs to the wall, when they're defending their own goal line, they use this chop tackle method very, very well. And that's probably a reflection of how well they've practiced and rehearsed this under the watchful eyes of coach Niloufar Ibrahim. So well done to St. Joseph's. And if they go on to win this game, I think it's much thanks to their defense.
Anuranga Walpal, also their forwards coach, will be happy with what he has seen so far. He won't be happy, though, if the result goes the other way. And this is some good body position from the Josephian defenders. Zubair, long pass out to Kavindana Pereira. It's not a good one, though. And Pereira will try and get bundled into touch. That's a ball infield behind the back pass. And Gunatilaka is the first man there. But again, superior jackling skills. Outstanding work that time again from Shehan Eranda. And Aaron Fernando will take it quickly. Not wanting to hang around in their own half. St. Joseph's not trusting their ability to exit well. And now Pereira can't be caught up in playing too much rugby in their own half. St. Joseph's. They'll want to get into the danger areas pretty quickly. Rashan Gunawardena with the kick, fielded by Walpit again. And here's a few numbers now available. Murshid Zubair, is he going to feed? Yes, he is. But another big tackle coming in. That might have been a little high as well. And Vitanage, who scored the try, nearly had his head taken off.
As much as there is good defense, Shanaka, to turn over ball, there's been few high shots on the Wesley boys today by the Josephians. And just before this ball was kicked out from the 22, I'm not sure why the Wesley wing threw that backhand pass, because there was no one in front of him.
Yes, I thought he could have kept going, Kavindana Pereira. He should have backed himself, but I think it's just that memory of that high shot he took. Here's Zubair, gives a short ball. I thought he might have held on to this ball, but Teran Karunanayaka comes across, and that is definitely a high shot. The touch judge had his flag up very quickly.
A bit of headhunting going on, and as we speak, tensions slightly, the mercury rises just out on the grandstand side, and on screen you can see a Wesley player down. I think he took a bit of a twist on that knee. It looked a little bit awkward. So both teams getting a chance to regroup, get some hydration.
Well, that's a third yellow card for St. Joseph's in this game. And if there is a reversal in the result, then again it's their discipline that's let them down.
So what does Wesley do, gentlemen? Do they take the points on offer, draw the game, and then take it from there, or do they go for the jugular?
Not sure Murshid Zubair has his radar on from here today, Boa. So with 2 men down, I would set this one up nicely in the corner and then spin it.
Yeah, I'd like to see them actually stay away from contact, because that breakdown has been terrible. They've been giving penalty after penalty.
Good option. Get the forward side tight in. You have 2 extra men on the line here for Wesley. If they can get the passes right and run the correct line, just 1 spot of gap is enough to break this line open.
Well, they'll be playing a 14-man defense anyway for the next 13, I beg your pardon, 2 yellow cards. So now is the time for Wesley to strike, and strike fast.
It's nice to see off your screens. We have the man Pereira holding his width on the right side touchline. Mendes goes down the corner. Everybody was waiting for the open side, and Mendes tries to go down the short side and gets bundled into touch.
That was a very unfortunate option they took. They had all the space, acres in fact, acres of real estate on the right hand side. There you see the replay. Mendes makes the line bust, beats his man, then he likes to offload, and there's the knock on.
And that's Vihanga Pereira again, isn't it? The man who came on in that number 30 jersey. Such a good defender, and they need him in these positions. Made a try-saving tackle.
Yeah, a bit of tunnel vision there. And this is where the communication, the senior players, the leadership group, they need to take the bull by the horns.
This is a very important scrum for St. Joseph. Santosh Algama in the pocket, but is he far enough in the pocket? Mendes will be the one who charges him down. And that's a very good clearance from Santosh Algama that time. And the Wesley player not sure what he did there.
I thought he would be play on, because it looked like a legitimate quick throw, because I don't think any of the spectators actually touched the ball.
Parinda Maduranga aching to come back into the game.
Yes, we're in for a riveting finish. It'll go up to the judge. It'll probably be a dead heat.
That one was well won again by Ogbebo. Walpitage opting to take it to the line. Actually not opting, but he didn't have any options. He's got to release that time, Pereira, and he does. Good communication by referee Fernando. That's a nice little ball off from Ogbebo. No release, so the referee will come back for the penalty, taken quickly by Mendes. Not sure that was the right option with Walpitage. Now looking for Ogbebo again. Looking for the space. Gunathilaka, that's a lovely little ball. And now stepping back infield was Vitanage. Just dragged down. And now the wide ball. Kavindana Pereira opts to go inside. Here's Zubair hanging on to that ball for dear life. Mendes now looks for some options. has an option in Fernando, who almost walks that ball into the tackle. Mendes again. Here's the open ball. And here's the pass. Can they score? Yes, they can. And Vitanage is the man, Jayavira is the man who touches down after plenty of times of asking.
Well. As I said before, it was a short ruck, minimal contact. And guess what? They made the numbers count, and that was very intelligent play. They went side to side, north to south, and then back again to the western side of the stands, right in front of the grandstand. They made the numbers count, and try time.
Tarusha Jayavira, is he going to be the 2-try hero for the Double Blues today? Or do St. Joseph's have something back in it for them? Walpitage. Here's Ritesh's pass. I think the Josephians were arguing that it was a little forward, that pass. Aaron Fernando definitely seemed to think so. And when Jayavira juggled it, it might have looked even more so. But we don't have a good enough angle to show you that pass, except from behind.
Well, the ball did look like it was propelled backwards from the hand. And I think that's what referee Fernando was stating as well. So, another crucial kick. Will we have some pin drop silence? Zubair, in his unusually unique stance, lines it up. Can he bring it back? He's kicking almost from the car park. Now he strides and strikes it just to the side of the left upright. So the conversion is not successful.
So Murshid Zubair has left 6 points on the park. How crucial are those points going to be in the final equation? Santosh Algama has hit the post a couple of times and missed a couple of kicks himself too. But he's got one for his team. So how important are all those points going to be when we close the doors on this game?
Tarindu Maduranga comes back after spending his time in the 10 minutes in the naughty chair. So Joseph's back to 14 men.
They'll be desperate for field position here, Wesley.
Well, prior to kickoff, StatSpur did predict Wesley to win by less than 5 points. So, gentlemen, we're on track. They lead by 2 points. That's Okbebor. He feels it. That's a good run. Takes it forward. Is he going to get jackled again? I think so.
Play on, says the referee there. And it was a younger Okbebor that time. And now the penalty comes, not rolling away. I'm not sure there was a tackle there, though, to roll away from. Rashan Gunawardena will now want his troops to spark to life. Tangaya.
So we're in for a riveting finish. 3 minutes straight from last of the Mohicans. Who will it be? Will it be Wesley or will it be St. Joseph's? Ball in hand now. That is Tarindu Alves taking it forward, setting up a ruck. So it's slow ball, recycling. There's another one out, one back, pick and go. Driven back by the Double Blues. St. Joseph's maintaining good shape. As you can see, they've got numbers to the ruck. There's another pick and go. Great placement. Like a lotus at a temple. That's how good the ball presentation is. Now they take it 1 meter at a time. However, it is all lateral. Moving towards the post are St. Joseph's. And there's a long whistle.
Oh, that's an important penalty now. No advantage coming from the offside there, and the referee will go all the way back. The difference is that he can't kick this from here, perhaps Santosh Algama. Nalaka Virakodi could definitely have kicked it. He's the man just obscured by the score there. Nalaka Virakodi, probably the best kicker Sri Lanka has ever seen.
Oh, that's Nalaka there. For a moment, I couldn't quite recognize him.
So we have to think of a man of the match as well. There's 1 more minute to go in this game, and it's far from over. There's plenty more to go. But there have been a few good performances, I must say. We've had Aaron Fernando, who's been good at fullback, and Tarindu Alves also, who has been excellent for St. Joseph's. And then, of course, Samuel Ogbebo, I thought, has been excellent for Wesley as well. And even if it's in a losing cause, I would probably shade Samuel Ogbebo as man of the match, because he's been good in the lineouts, good with the ball carrying, good in defense, good with running the ball as well.
Absolutely, Shanak. I think I'm with you. Samuel Colt Okbebor, amazing work rate. And boy, I mean, he took a heavy fall there when he was uplifted, past the horizontal. But I think he's just gotten better. His work rate has been sensational. And should Wesley go on to win this, I think everyone has to buy him a round of lemonade.
Yes, because you can't buy him a beer. He's too young. He's not 21 yet. But if they win today, I'm sure some people will remember it for the next 2 years and buy him one then.
That's right. Ginger beer for now. Possibly the stronger kind in a couple of years.
Josephian crowd exhorting their team forward. This is do or die stuff here at Longdon Place, and this is why we love the Singer Schools Rugby League 2019. Can you believe that this almost didn't go ahead? Big push from Wesley. Standing up is the Josephian front row, but good tackle that time by Gunatilaka, who's also played a superb hand for Wesley today. The open side flanker. Pereira waits at the back of this scrum, at this ruck rather. Ogbebo puts in another tackle. St. Joseph's will only take this up route one. Try to milk a penalty, try to come in closer towards the post and milk a penalty which will win it for them with the last kick of the game. That's their plan. What's Wesley's plan? Tarindudi Alves full of carrying. Might have been our man of the match, but he did get himself yellow carded. That has to come into the equation. Vihanga Pereira. Wesley will be desperate not to concede a penalty here. Going forward. Ever so slightly. Going sideways faster.
So Joe's playing almost like Royal did against St. Peter's. A second ruck. Now they go slightly wider. Can they recycle this? Yes, they can. Of course they can.
That's the man who has been carrying manfully. Tarindudi Alves, who made those initial few meters. Just changing the point of attack a little bit. Rasha and Gunawardena now will allow his forwards to do the work. Still on or about that 22-meter line. Haven't made too much progress from that point.
So
energy-sapping stuff.
That's been 15 phases, ladies and gentlemen. Another pick and go, one out, one back. The ball's available just behind the 22. And that looks like Tarindudi Alves straight over the top. That's good ball security. Wesley keeping their discipline, not infringing. Playing this lovely zero ruck policy. Which ruck will they target to flood and make sure they force the turnover? As you can see, no defenders committing. Ball's available again. So St. Joseph's literally going side to side in about a 5 square meter radius.
This is like a ruck drill. It's the kind of stuff you practice when you want that close quarter stuff perfect. But now they've made a couple of meters, not a lot. They just managed to get that Wesley defense a little bit disorganized there. Can they regroup? Wesley quite happy to thump them back into where they came from. Rasha and Gunawardena tries a snipe.
So that's full time up. And we're on the referee's clock. Yes, we are. St. Joseph's hanging on to the ball. One out, one back. Pick and go is the order. They're flooding the ruck. It'll be another pick and go. Yes, it will. Is the ball available? It is now. It is slow.
Any penalty in this area will be easy pickings for Santosh Algama. The Wesleyites will know that.
It's kind of like Colombo CBD traffic, innit? Slow going and it's not going anywhere in a hurry.
This is nail-biting stuff here. It's not pretty to watch, but I'll tell you what. It is heart-throbbing. The coaches on both benches must be absolutely biting their fingernails right down to the bone. Big run that time by Thiraka Santosh. And that's good defense from Wesley, just driving them back. But they've managed to hold on to the ball for goodness knows how long now.
About 130 seconds. So this is good discipline. Ball live in play. St. Joseph's hanging on to the ball. Have Wesley turned it over? No, they haven't. No, they haven't. This is riveting stuff. Incredible.
Anybody who's played in the forwards knows how nervous this is. Beautiful run from Pereira this time. Tired legs, tired arms, tired shoulders here from both teams. But St. Joseph's know they are going for the win, so their adrenaline will be pumping a little bit more. Good tackle that time by Sritesh. Now they've made about 12 meters from the 22-meter line. They are going to inch this one over if that's what it takes.
It's almost like the All Blacks did against Ireland, if you recall.
Wesley, if they're smart, will let them move away from the posts and then perhaps infringe. But at the moment here, Santosh Algama's radar will be pretty easy pickings.
I think go for the drop goal. Take it straight under the post. And as we say, they make a break. Have they retained possession? Yes. No, they haven't. There's the knock on. Yes, it is. There's the knock on.
Goodness me, have we seen the biggest upset of this league so far? Wesley College, double blues, have done it. The StatSpurt called it winning by under 5 points, you said yesterday. And that's exactly what Wesley College have done. St. Joseph's have only themselves to blame because they sent 3 of their players to the bin, 2 of them at a particular moment where they desperately couldn't afford to give away a try. And it's a famous victory for the Wesleyites here. And the 2-try hero, Tarush Jayavira, will be remembering this one for a long, long time to come.
Yes, he will. And guess what? Wesley, my early mail, season 2019 dark horse, certainly turning into a front runner now. They were a back marker in the first round, but guess what? They're absolutely bolting home. And this, Shanaka, this Dinuk is going to absolutely turn this schools league on its head.
Wesley's in some form, isn't it? Come the second round, they've beaten Isipatana, they've beaten St. Joseph's, and they have 2 more weeks to go. And St. Joseph's now will have to take every bonus point on offer and every win on offer because they are all equal with St. Peter's and Royal on the top 3. That advantage they had just pre-game we discussed, Boa, has now gone, and Wesley, as you predicted correctly, has come on top just by 2 points. And you can see the disheartened Josephians on the ground. They need to pick themselves up because there's a lot more to play in the coming weeks.
And I'll tell you what, gentlemen, these Wesley boys will be pretty heavy, as will be their crowd. But I'll tell you who else is going to be jumping up and down at this result, and that's Royal and that's St. Peter's. They know now that they're all even at the top. St. Joseph's have not been able to win their 6th game in the row. It's played 6-1-5 for both Royal, St. Peter's, as well now as St. Joseph's. Chatru Seniviratha on the park there, the star from last year for that Josephian team. And he's not brooking any tears here. He's telling those boys, get into your huddle and let's regroup for the next game. But what a fantastic game it has been. Highly error-ridden. But that was always going to be expected despite the conditions. But in the end, that last 5 minutes of drama almost makes up for the poor quality of the stuff that we saw before.
Yeah, exactly. And Wesley just put their heart out, and credit to them in defense. They didn't give away a penalty. Inside the red zone, within the post, you can see the tears on that Josephian's face. They didn't expect this. And remember, they have to travel to away games and not easy venues. Royal at Royal Complex and St. Peter's at their newly built stadium. It's not easy for the Josephians.
Yes, this is going to be a difficult one, and you see the tears of anguish flooding down the face of the Josephian player. And he's got to understand eventually that it's just a game and life is not over. And I hope that all the people in charge of Josephian Rugby are able to give the support to these players, just to tell them that it's not the end of the world, guys. You've lost a game, you've still got the title in your sights.
Yeah, that's right, Shanak. I can completely understand. You know, that's raw emotion. You know, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and when it doesn't go your way, it all comes out. And you know, that was actually quite difficult for me to watch that young man shedding some tears. But nonetheless, congratulations to Wesley, my early mail, dark horse, and now a serious contender. And what this also tells the rest of the league is that they now have to be on full alert. They cannot afford any further slip up, especially the top heavyweights, beg your pardon, St. Peter's and Royal, because keep in mind tomorrow St. Peter's will be hosting Isipatana, and Isipatana, based on stats, they haven't had 3 bad games on the trot for at least 5 years. So tomorrow, red alert for St. Peter's. And I'm going to make an early call on the broadcast. I am predicting a draw between St. Peter's and Isipatana tomorrow at Bambalapitia.
The cries of the war cry of Zamzam Zaki, Zamzam Zay ring out across Longdon Place as the dispirited Josephians will have to go home and lick their wounds this time. But it's nice to see that the two teams going through that tunnel, shaking each other's hand, these rugby traditions that may have been missing in that first round. Good to see them coming back onto this CRNFC ground.
That's right, Chanaka. I mean, it's great to see, both sets of supporters, bit of hugs, bit of handshakes, a bit of backslapping, above and beyond. It's the spirit of the game. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is an amateur schoolboy sport. And at times, people think that these are professional players who are as good as All Blacks. They are not. These are schoolboys playing for the love of the sport. And as spectators and supporters, you need to understand that and appreciate the game for what it is. There is more to life than an under-20 first 15 game.
Well, that brings us to a close in what has been a desperately close game. 15 points to 13, won by Wesley. And here we see the highlights of that second half. This is Zubair's long ball out to Vitanage, who eventually scored that try. If you want to nitpick, you could have said that Zubair's ball could have been flatter and faster. But it didn't matter in the end. Here's Walpeter's ball. Here's disputed forward pass from the number 28, that was Jayawardena. And in the end, it was enough for Tarus Jayavira's second try. And that's what brought us to this full-time score. 15 points to 13. The clear man of the match, Samuel Ogbebo. And it has to be said again, like it was last week, the clear man of the match was a clear winner.
Yeah, I have to say, a bit of a plug-in for naming rights sponsor Clearman. Excellent shampoo. I use it every day. And I think Samuel's going to do well as well. And as I speak, my co-commentators are rubbing my bald head.
Samuel Ogbebo, heroic performance for him, despite that injury he almost had when he was dumped in a tackle by the Josephian skipper. But good to see him rebounding from that. But St. Joseph's just held discipline, letting them down in the end. And these are the fixtures that we can expect this weekend. Royal play Trinity in the second leg of that Bradby tomorrow. And we'll be looking to win handsomely and take that shield or keep that shield back at Reed Avenue. St. Peter's versus Isipatana. Boa has called that as a draw tomorrow from Bambalapitia. And St. Thomas's and Science taking each other on in both of their hometown. The Mount Lavinia boys and St. Thomas's will have a banana skin. They'll need to make sure that they don't slip up on it.
Yeah, a bit of a super Saturday of fixtures, aren't we? The Bradby, then this all-important St. Peter's Isipatana, and of course the Mount Lavinia Derby.
Should be good stuff. Next week's fixtures, St. Thomas's will take on Trinity for the Canon RS Deserum Trophy, and 3 difficult trips down to Colombo for Trinity, culminating with that game against St. Thomas's. And then the Battle of the Saints. Will that be the match that decides the title at Bambalapitia? Difficult pace again to travel for the Josephians. Royal versus Isipatana at the Royal Complex. You'd have to think the Royal will be favourites with those big boys up against them in that game. And Science will take on Wesley, and Wesley will be hoping to take these newfound winning ways with them into that game against Science as well. So that's what's coming up in next week's fixtures, gentlemen.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you mark it down, live and exclusive right here on www.thepapare.com. And guess what? A memorable victory for Wesley, 15 points to 13, defeating the previously undefeated St. Joseph's. And that is it from me, Boathu, and my sparring partners, Shana Kamarasinghe and Dinuk Bhaskar. And make sure you join us tomorrow, live and exclusive, for the 75th Singer Bradby Shield from Jurassic Park. Have a good evening. Thank you.
හපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් බුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට.
සුවිසලි ලක්ක වෙනුවෙන් සෑමංගලක් දක්වාම දහඩිය හෙලීම සැබෑ පිරිමියෙකුගේ ගතියක්. ඔබේ උත්සාහය තියුණු වෙන තරමට ඔබේ ශරීරයේ උත්සාහයට අභියෝග කරයි. මුලින් දහඩිය, ඉන්පසු ග්‍රීස්, අන්තිමක ඉස්හොරි. ක්ලියර්මෙන් සමගින් නැගිටින්න කාලයයි මේ. සාමාන්‍ය ෂැම්පූ වලට වඩා දෙගුණයක් ක්‍රියාකාරී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ඔබත් සමග ඉස්හොරි වලට එරෙහිව සටන් වදී. ඔබේ ජයග්‍රහණයට පෙරමං සදන අසමසමේ ලක්ක වෙත යන සැබෑ පිරිමින් වෙනුවෙන්ම සුවිශේෂී ක්ලියර්මෙන් ලොවන්ගේගේ මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම no limit.
When she's special, she's not just a girlfriend. She is your sweetheart. When you feel it, you don't just call it sunshine. You call it warmth. When you reveal your deepest emotions, it's not just art. It's freedom. And when its essence is premium cocoa butter, it's not just chocolate. It's Ravello. Chocolate so special, you call it Ravello.
Echo the voices of fun. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
පවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම මුල් පවුලට සතුට සදන සිඟ අත විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
දින 60ක්ම ක්‍රිකට් උණුසුම නොමිලේ අත්විඳින්න. ඔබත් අදම ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් සම්බන්ධතාවයක් ගෙදර ගෙනියන්න. සෑම නව සම්බන්ධතාවයක් සමගම සියලුම ක්‍රීඩා channel දින 60කට නොමිලේ. පෝස්ට්පේඩ් සම්බන්ධතාවය රුපියල් 2990ක විශේෂිත අඩු කළ මිලකට. බර්ඩි TV සම්බන්ධතාවය රුපියල් 5990කට. ඉක්මන් කරන්න. අදම දිවයින පුරා පිහිටි ඕනෑම ඩයලොග් පාරිභෝගික සේවා මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් වෙත පිවිසෙන්න. ඩයලොග් ටෙලිවිෂන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක 1 ටෙලිවිෂන් රසාස්වාදය.
දැන් යහපෝෂා දන්නේ ඉරිඟු සහල් මුං සෝයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි කිරිත් එකතු කරලා. ඒ නිසා මා චේන්ජ් වුණා.
ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ අලුත්ම සොයා ගැනීම. මේක රස එක. මැලිබන් යහපෝෂ රසයකට චේන්ජ් වෙන්න.
කිසි ගැම්මක් නෑ. පදම පරක්කු ඇයි?
සුමීරි පානේ පදමට ගහලා දවස පුරා ගතට දැනෙන මිහිරක් බුබුදා.
හොඳම මැලිබන්තේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා. මැලිබන්තේ එක්ක අපේ දවස රස වුණා.
පදම වරුනේ.
කහට පදම නියමෙට රස සමග මුසුණා.
මැලිබන්තේ පදමට කහට.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික සැමගේ තේරීම no limit.
Stumble upon a surprise. Fashion inspired by emotion. Glitz, the fashion destination.